Reflect's hand closed around Fragment 4 before anyone could stop him. The crystal dissolved on contact, but instead of the smooth integration Kael had experienced with the frequency, this merger was violent. Reflect's scream tore through the crystalline chamber, harmonics shattering formations that had existed since before human civilization. Dual fragment integration detected. Warning, host consciousness overload imminent. Mirror architect paradox initiated. The mirror bearer convulsed as two alien intelligences fought for dominance in his neural pathways. His reflection sight flickered between showing infinite recursive possibilities and detailed architectural blueprints that existed in 17 dimensions simultaneously. Blood streamed from his eyes as his brain struggled to process conflicting data streams. Fragment 5. Elena raised her rifle, but Ghost grabbed her arm. Don't shoot him. He's trying to integrate them properly. Reflect's body arched as electricity danced across his skin, not from any external source, but from the fragments themselves generating power as they merged. The mirror's recursive self-awareness crashed against the architect's creative drive, each fragment trying to assert primacy over the shared consciousness. His scream became two-toned as the personalities began to blend. When the integration finally stabilized, Reflect straightened slowly. His mirror eyes now showed blueprints reflecting into infinity, architectural plans for structures that could exist across multiple dimensions simultaneously. When he spoke, his voice carried harmonics of both reflection and creation. I can see it, he whispered, staring at the chamber walls with enhanced perception. The structure of reality itself. How it's built. How to change it. The Deep Zone's architecture responded to his dual nature. Where the mirror fragment had shown him possibilities, the architect fragment gave him the power to implement them. Stone flowed like water, reshaping itself according to his conscious will but reflected through infinite recursive possibilities. Build us a fortress, Elena ordered, her scanner showing core forces approaching through the upper passages. Something that can keep Hallam out. Reflect pressed his palms against the cavern floor, and the response was immediate. The chamber exploded outward as he reshaped reality on a massive scale. Walls grew from nothing, hardening into structures that existed in 17 dimensions but appeared solid to human perception. Defensive positions formed where none had been before. Passages sealed themselves while new routes opened according to tactical necessity. But the effort was costing him. Dual fragment integration created feedback loops that human consciousness wasn't designed to handle. Each use of the combined abilities sent cascading errors through his neural pathways. His outline flickered between solid and translucent as the mirror fragment tried to show him every possible reflection of his architectural changes simultaneously. Pain, building, 17 simultaneous feedback loops. His voice carried electronic distortions. Mirror showing infinite construction possibilities. Architect implementing them all, can't stop. Blood trickled from his nose as the fortress continued growing around them. The structure was magnificent, a crystalline stronghold that drew power from the Deep Zone's substrate while reflecting attack vectors into parallel dimensions. But Reflect was burning out from the inside as two fragments consumed his consciousness faster than human neural tissue could regenerate. Kael caught him as he collapsed, his dual fragment bearer trembling from integration overload. We need to get that medical kit. His brains being fried by competing data streams. Sable created hardlight supports while Ren unpacked emergency medical supplies. But conventional treatment couldn't address the fundamental problem. Reflect was hosting two fragments that were designed to be part of a larger whole, not crammed together in a single human consciousness. Fragment bearer vitals critical. Dual integration, unstable. Consciousness degradation, accelerating. The fortress continued growing around them, powered by the architect's creative drive but reflected through infinite possibilities by the mirror. Defensive systems materialized from crystallized thought. Energy barriers formed from hardened mathematics. It was beautiful and terrible and completely beyond human comprehension. Through the pain, Reflect managed to speak. Something's wrong, both fragments are detecting external control signals, someone's trying to override. The fortress walls suddenly screamed. Reality tore open as Director Hallam's forces breached Reflect's defenses, not through conventional weapons, but using technology that carved through dimensional barriers like they were tissue paper. Core soldiers poured through the breach, their armor gleaming with signal suppressors and reality anchors. But Hallam herself stood behind them, next to a machine that made Kael's enhanced perception recoil in horror. It was the harvesting device from Sub-Level 9, but rebuilt larger. Crystalline extraction arrays that pulsed with familiar frequencies. Neural interface cables that writhed with independent movement. And at its core, a containment matrix designed specifically to house 7 fragments simultaneously. She activated it without ceremony. The machine's extraction beam lanced out, and both Reflect and Petrov screamed as their fragments were pulled toward the harvesting matrix by forces that bypassed human will entirely.